Hello, welcome back.
Hi, everybody.
Today we are going to start framing the roof.
The roof. That's just for one of our subscribers.
The roof is on fire.
You are.
Let's hope not, because that would be a bit of a disaster if it ends up on fire. Right, okay. It's quite noisy outside today. It's quite windy. We're already late in the week anyway. It's been a busy one so far. So
it's been a busy month, really, isn't it?
It has,
Lots of birthdays in the family this month.
Yeah, including Maximus's, and he is fast
Roman's.
approaching leaving school.
Well, junior school.
Yeah, junior school, moving to high school. So yeah, it's been busy, but we are going to start. It's Thursday morning, and I have a plan in my head of how this is going to work. I've been thinking about it for a good while now.
Few months.
Yeah, crikey. I've been dreading it for a few months.
Yeah.
Well, I shall be doing a run to Tool Station shortly once we've figured out what we need.
Oh my gosh, be specific.
I think I'll order it online before I send her.
I think that's a good plan.
And she can just go and pick it up.
I've got no clue what I'm picking up or doing.
I want a flexible adhesive sealant to go under the framework that's going to sit on the actual metalwork. When it comes to final sealing, we're going to get some Sikaflex. That's the one all the caravan and motorhome industry use.
So we're not going to cut anything off the roof or cut the roof off at all until the framework's done. The only sort of cutting we'll be doing is drilling into the framework.
Yeah, the only holes will be the drill holes to bolt through. And as we drill them, we'll treat them and then seal them anyway. So
yeah, it's a big job.
It is a big job.
It's a very ambitious job.
It's a slightly daunting job, thinking about putting a big hole in your roof. I'm still putting it off now. I'm sat here procrastinating whilst, the day's ticking. Let's crack on.
Definitely.
So what we're trying to get to in this first section is getting that framing out done. We start by measuring the side lengths and then cutting them. Obviously it'll vary on each van roof. Ours is extra long. Shell thought she was filming here, but she was taking a picture. Then we measure the two width spans and get them cut down. I mark every single piece up with which way it should be facing, which is the top side, which is the bottom side, and that way there's no mixing them up when we get going. Measuring the front out here and marking that down, then cutting that out. So that's the basic framework ready. Again, mark everything up so you know what's what. Well, this is the angle of the wood. So when it's sat on the van roof, it points outwards, and I want it to point slightly inwards, so when the sides go up, they run slightly upwards and inwards. I'm setting up the table saw to cut the angle that I want on the wood. And then I'll run the full length through the table saw for both sides. So when they sit on the roof, you can see it now angles up. Then I take the calipers and I measure the timber, and it's exactly 42mm for my timber. And then I split that to 21mm, and I mark with the calipers because it's got a nice sharp edge all the way around to create half lap joints. You can use a pencil and a rule for this. This is what I had to hand, and it's got that nice sharp edge. Once I've got them all marked out, I cut all 8 half laps. Now what a half lap does is it brings the two pieces together and gives you a big gluing surface a big surface area of glue, as well as keeping obviously the dimensions of the wood that you want. So it's much stronger than a butt joint, and we want all of this framework to tie together and sit up on the roof and see how it lies. Talking about the front and back cross sections and how I'm going to have to take some out to allow for the curvature of the roof.
So I've come to Toolstation again, and thankfully Graham put the order in before I got here. Otherwise I wouldn't have had a clue what I was getting like last time. So yeah, it's all packed up, it's all ready, and no awkward questions and me feeling stupid. Okay, so here's all the goodies that I've just been to Toolstation to pick up. We've got some of them, no clue. Some of them, no clue. I think that's a drill bit. Yeah, I think it is. Are they washers? Some of them, massive things. More of them, massive things. We've got 10 tubes of whatever that is. I'll let Graham go through the list because, like I say, I haven't got a clue. Oh, more of them as well. I think more of the same, just in the box.
Here I'm just taking the roof lining out of the front cab, and that way we can get access to the strut against the roof to drill through and fix the front cross member. This is just a case of taking the sun visors off and the side handle, and then unclipping the lights from the main wiring loom, which on ours is at the right hand side. I'm now drilling the corners in so I can fix them through, which will allow me to get it in some kind of position to scribe the radius, the curvature of the roof front and back, and also to pre-drill the fixing points. So I'm drilling from the top, shells catching from the bottom. As soon as I'm finished, I take the hoover and get all the metal shards up. You don't want to leave metal shards anywhere, they will just rust straight away. So with that fixed down now, I can begin to scribe out for the curvature of the roof and drill the pilot holes for the rest of the fixings. I measure internally from the center point of the first fixing and then put that on each strut that goes across the top of the van. The footage, I did set up the camera, I forgot to press record, so the footage is missing of that. But once I've got that all set out, I bring the timber down and then drill out the rest of the holes on the timber with the bigger drill bit. Here I'm planing out the center of the curvature to allow these to sit down a bit better on the roof and get a good full bond with the adhesive when they sit down. Now I'm drilling out the holes all the way around the outline on the roof. Once I've drilled the holes, I file back any burrs and then I rough up the surface with sandpaper. That will allow for a better key of the adhesive into the paintwork. I clean off any dust and excess wrapping it up for the day because it was getting late, I closed over all the holes with waterproof masking tape.
The next morning.
So it's probably going to take the best part of today to get this done, and I think that will be this week's video complete then, just getting that subframe bonded to the floor. So
it doesn't look like it's much when you put it in a video. I'm sure other YouTubers can relate to this, but it actually is like hours and hours and hours of work, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's pretty much the most integral part of the roof, giving it a good bond, structurally bonding it and fixing it to the van. So then everything else that builds up from there will be fixed and bonded as well, and making it as obviously strong as possible before we then start adding the resin and the fiberglass, which will give it a completely strong shell.
It's got to be structurally strong. We don't want to be the roof falling off when we're travelling down the motorway, do we?
70 mile an hour on the motorway, and all of a sudden we've got a sunroof. Yeah, it wouldn't be the best plan, no. Okay, so we're going to crack on. So here I'm making a back brace for the rear cross member. As it's not going through the strut, I've made a brace out of ply. I've just got the length. Checking in now, you can see the way it bends in nicely to the structure, and now I'm drilling out the holes for the bolts. Treating all the paintwork now outside for me first. I've given it all a clean down. I give it another clean before I start the adhesive process, but I've roughed it all up with sandpaper, and now I'm using Hammerite to paint out all the bare, exposed metalwork.
It was all dripping through on me.
Well, I had you inside, didn't I? At this point, with a towel just catching the drips, and then once I'd finished outside.
Yeah, I just sanded back the rough edges of the bolt holes.
And then painted them up.
Painted them up, yeah. It's a messy job. Oh my gosh, I can't
nice selfie.
I can't get used to the little DJI. This screen's tiny.
Look at me though.
You look so fetching there.
We're all tidied up. All the jobs are done. The paint is now dry in all the holes. I've laid Shell's bits out. Shell's going to be on the inside, so she's going to have the washer and the nylon nut to go on, and we're also going to put thread lock on as well. So I'm going to be on the roof. And I'm going to run my sealant out first. I've got 3 tubes for each side and 2 for each end, so that should be plenty. I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to lay the sealant down, and then I'm going to bring the wood up. Then I'll pop my bolts through, and then Shell can work from the other side, getting each nut on. I'll put the thread lock on the coach bolts as they go through, and then Shell can buzz them up with the gun, get each nut on and pull it in somewhat tight. Once they're all on, then we'll tighten it right down. So we're going to get going with that now. So now that I've finished wittering on, I start applying the adhesive, the sealant adhesive to the top quite liberally. I actually did do the other side first, but I forgot to press record, or I thought I'd press record and it didn't start. So I've got the sealant adhesive on, and I've got the first bolt through, and I'm applying the thread lock as I go along, and Shell's now on the inside. Yeah, this is when it really got to me, and got all in my hair, all down my arms, all in my hand, on my hands. But the important bit, the bolts got fastened up tightly to hold the roof in place whilst we're driving down the motorway. So yeah, I'm just using the bottom of the hammer. It didn't occur to me to grab the mole grips and just use them. The pressure pressure off the hammer, stop the coach bolts from spinning for the most part. Once the two sides were done, we moved on to the front, and we're using the the Puriflex sealant adhesive underneath and a D4 grade construction wood glue adhesive, which is a PU based one as well, expanding foam grip adhesive, and that obviously gets compressed down to create that really strong fixing as a glue fixing on the joint, and obviously the mechanical fixing as well of the coach bolt dropping through. You've got around 45-50 minutes to work with this sealant to finish tooling it once the application's been made. After that, it just becomes really messy. So it's a race against the clock really when we were doing this bit. I'm trying to work bits in and get around. At the back, same again, adhesive on the corners, and then I've had to go back to this clip because Maximus stopped the camera, but we put a load of sealant adhesive on the plate underneath as well, and then pulled them both together, got the D4 wood glue on the corners, and got it all fixed down.
Wow. Whew.
That was another long one, wasn't it?
It was.
Crikey.
Looks like a bird's been trying to nest in me head.
Here he comes.
Are you coming in to say hello on the camera?
We're just doing the goodbye bit. Are you coming to say bye-bye in a minute? You're going to sit good whilst Mum and Dad, are you going out? Okay.
Come and sit with me.
Go on, sit with Mum.
Oh.
So yeah, since you last saw me, I have cleaned up, just done an hour and a half, cleaning up all the top, all the edges, all the outside edges that are going to have additional glue and sealants on when the rest of the boarding goes on. It doesn't look like a lot's been done because it's 2 full days work for 4 bits of wood.
Doesn't, does it? And
four bits of wood, 2 full days work.
It's a bit disheartening, doesn't it, when you spend like 2 full days and it doesn't really look any different. There's just a few bolt holes and.
Well, I was just saying to Shell, the only problem we've got now is that's so well sealed and so well fixed down. I think if it was to rain, we'd have our very own swimming pool on the roof because it'd just hold water and fill up.
And we can't tip it down, can we?
We can't, no. So
like if a tarp got put to it.
Yeah, give it an hour or so, and we're going to put the tarpaulin over and tie it down. Now it does give storms next week. I don't know what the weekend forecast is, but we're not going to get a chance to do any more on it at the weekend. So the tarpaulin will go over it, and we'll tie that tarpaulin down, and that'll be that for tonight.
Yeah, for tonight.
So I think that's it for this week's video, guys.
Ooh. We got over 100 subscribers.
We did. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you ever so much. I know to like big YouTubers, that's not a lot.
It's not, but to us, that was our first goal, wasn't it?
So we're so very grateful.
This is the end of part 1 of our very own roof extension. On our camper van, and from what we can see, I can't see anybody in the UK that's done this before. So
no, definitely not. Well, we didn't want a pop top, did we?
No,
we didn't want. It just wouldn't have suited our needs, and we didn't want to pay £3,000-4,000 to
even
do it.
more for this size of roof.
Oh, it wouldn't it?
Yeah. So the regulations have all changed anyway. A pop top isn't classified as a camper van anymore. So yeah. That's why we're doing our own. So please like, subscribe, follow along. If you're that way inclined, ring the bell. Ring the bell. And please do follow us on Instagram as well. And we will...
Go and have a shower now.
Yeah, go and have a shower. My pencil's falling out. We shall see you in the next one.
Yeah, bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.